live with Bobby Henson, Tom Luchak, Sean O'Malley, Adam Fitzgerald, and Andy Van Meer. This is Buffalo After Dark.
What's going on, guys? Your host, Buffalo Bob, over here at Buffalo After Dark. I am here with Mr. Bubba, Matt, Sean O'Malley. How are you tonight, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Bills are finally back on the right track, and hey, I feel better about it already.
Absolutely. And I will tell you this too, is and some of you may or may not know, I went to the Bills-Jets game on Sunday, and prior to that game, I'm not gonna lie, I honestly felt very insecure about the game before the game was even being played, because obviously a lot was going through my head about Jacksonville. So I'm like, well, they got pretty much everyone back. So Spencer Brown came back, Zach Moss came back, Terry Johnson came back, and a handful of other people came in. So it's like, well, 4 people finally come back, Dawson Knox as well. There are no excuses to lose this game. And then sure enough, the Bills came out flying, and they were just lights out from beginning to end.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed every bit of it. Honestly, this is exactly what needed to be done. Now, granted, it was the Jets, but like I said in my rant video, or similar to it, any given Sunday. So I was like, I'm not taking any more chances anymore. So yeah, we needed to make a statement, and what better team to make a statement on than the Jets?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty insane, honestly. But I'm glad though that they were able to get over the hump and beat the Jets. So I'm glad though they were able to do it. So I could certainly say, like, how do you feel going forward? Do you feel like there's a little bit of more momentum going forward? Do you feel like they're just gonna put their foot on the gas? Like, what do you think is gonna happen with the Bills?
I believe they regained some momentum after this win. We still got the Colts this Sunday, and then we got the Saints on the road Thanksgiving, and then we got the Patriots at home. So it's not going to be an easy test for in any of those games. But if I feel like we definitely built some momentum, hopefully enough to get over that hump.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was talking to Brittany about this, and she's like really nervous about that Saints game. And to be honest with you, I don't blame her, because God knows what's going to happen. I mean, Spencer Brown, we found out today, just went on COVID protocol, which sucks. I mean, and that's what I don't understand. He played on Sunday, but yet now he's on the COVID protocol.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that at all.
Yep. And look who just so happened to call from the other side. It's Tom Wojak. What's going on, Tom?
Hey. Not much. Just sitting here while wifey has a little bit of a concussion she's dealing with, so she's getting her head scanned. But other than that, I figured, you know what, while I wait to figure out what's going on here, I figured, jump in with you two maniacs here, and let's have a good show.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I just want to say, though, guys, is one thing. And, Sean, this goes directly to you, guy. It's too bad, though, that Steve Jobs has died from ligma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that's relevant to me, but okay.
Yeah, you want me to tell you?
I'm listening.
Lick my balls.
How did I not see that coming? How? I don't get it.
You don't get it? Ligma and
No, I don't know. I don't get how I didn't see that coming.
You didn't. But I have another one. Are you into dragons?
Am I what?
Are you into dragons? Do you like dragons?
To an extent, yeah.
Don't you secretly wish that you had a pet dragon?
I mean, I daydreamed about it maybe a couple times in my lifetime.
Good, because it'd be dragging these nuts across your face.
Tom, I don't know how you put up with him for all these years. I don't know how you did it.
I was gonna say, it's going on what now, Bobby? Like 7 years now this January?
Something like it.
Something like that?
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah. The fact that you fell for it not once but twice is just remarkable. It's glorious.
Whatever.
Oh, good.
And think about this. And think about it this way, Sean. Me and Bobby have met each other in real life. I think it's let's see, 1, 2, 4 times now. I think, or 3 times, something like that.
Yeah, once or twice, maybe 3, somewhere around that range.
Well, twice in Buffalo, and then 3 because it's twice up here. And then I met Brittany last time you were here, and then of course I met her when I was down on Long Island. So, we're up to 3. Well, it'll be 4 this coming summer.
Holy crap! Time flies. My God.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so let's talk about that game a little bit more. So Joshua Allen went over 300 something plus yards, 366 passing yards with 2 touchdowns against the Jets on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, just the way I will say it is this. I mean, Allen had a really good bounce back game, and he had an eternity in the pocket all day. But the one thing I really wanted to give a good shout out to was Matt Breida. We finally have a freaking run game. And it's like, keep Breida on the lineup because actually he looked better than Moss and Singletary combined.
Technically on a standard point. Yeah, he did.
Yep.
I will say, though, I feel like they're going to use him as a trick play running back. And that's just my general opinion, of course.
I mean, whatever works. I mean, the dude got 2 touchdowns in the game, 1 rushing, 1 passing. So, hey, do what you got. Do what you got to do.
Exactly. Like dragging these nuts across your face.
Dude, what is it with your obsession and nuts tonight?
No, it's not. It just kind of like whoosh right into my head.
Are you doing something behind your fiance's back that we don't know about?
No,
Yeah, Bob.
No,
is there something? Is there something you're not telling us?
No, I promise.
Yeah, you having some premarital affair or something?
No, never. We would never be together again if that was the case. But I promise you, I am not. Sin, by the way, so I would never do that.
That's good.
General point, though, I will say though, the Bills had a pretty interesting week against the Jets, and they came out flying. They pretty much had all their healthy guys back, except now Spencer Brown is back in injury reserve because of quote-unquote COVID protocol. So now he's back on there, and people are like, oh, God, the Bills are going to lose again. I'm like, well, we don't know that for a fact. Indianapolis is pretty good, but I do think that they will prevail. I think that's always the case, but just because one player goes down doesn't mean it's the end of the world.
Exactly. Like that.
Well, exactly.
That kind of talk gets under my skin every time, man. Because look, it doesn't matter how good one player is on a team. At the end of the day, one player is not the whole freaking team. So I don't get this mentality that one of our good guys go down, we're gonna lose and we're gonna lose the game or our entire season is ruined. Like cut the crap, man. Give me a break with that mess.
The only difference is Indianapolis has a pretty decent defense. More than I would say that it's better than Jacksonville by a mile standard.
Well, true, but still, we'll find a way.
We always do.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing we got to remember, I mean, one person going down, I mean, you still have a 53-man roster altogether. So, I mean, one person down, next person comes up. I mean, that's why a lot of times when you're in the draft and you're building through free agency, that's why you build a thing called depth. I mean, you have a bunch of players that you can work with that you can always shift around or move into the spots. I mean, that's how it's always been. So, I mean, yeah, Spencer Brown going down, I mean, yes, it's not a good thing, but it's not a horrible thing either because we still have people that can step in.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, the last thing I want to worry about is them going crazy over one lineman. Because if they're going crazy over one lineman, that practically means that Brandon Beane's going to have to adjust and address the depth position in the offensive line. Because I think that people are finally starting to see after 3 years that Cody Ford is ass and he cannot block for shit. And Spencer Brown, who's only, 22, 23, is a rookie, and he's playing way better than Cody Ford, hands down. And on top of all that, you can't just rely on one player and say, oh, God, it's the end of the world.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, and Cody Ford is a huge bust. I mean, here he is drafted in the first round. That's like a rare miss for Bean and company because, I mean, with Cody Ford, I mean, here you are. You have an offensive tackle basically, and he's supposed to be clogging up the middle, and he does not hold the coverage very well, and he's not a small guy either. So I mean, the fact that Brown's coming in and he's playing better than what we've seen with Cody Ford the last few years, I'm almost thinking it's time either to deal Cody Ford or just cut him at the end of the season. I mean, it's really at that point we need to improve that interior.
I think they will prevail at some point. I mean, I think he's not stupid. He definitely knows how to address needs when they need to come up. I mean, remember when everyone was saying, oh, the Bills need a wide receiver when they lost to Houston? Look what he did. He went out and got Stephon Diggs. And yet they went out and got rid of John Brown, and they upgraded it with Emmanuel Sanders. So Brandon Beane is definitely stupid. I mean, he knows his team. He knows what he's up against. So it's almost like as if, he's looking at it and saying, look, I get what's going on, and I have to address it. It's my job, and I'm being paid millions of dollars per year to address this.
Yep, absolutely. And he's done a very good job with addressing the whole team and getting that culture change in here. So, I mean, I don't have any concerns with him being able to go ahead and upgrade that position, and I don't have any concern with him being able to upgrade that interior part of the line, because at the end of the day, he's going to get it done, and it'll probably be something we see at the end of the season where there's going to be some changes, obviously, and of course the NFL draft will come up, and more often than not, I mean, he's been very good at drafting people that are not exactly household names on draft day, and they've turned out very well. So, I mean, we'll get through it, and then we'll address it.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about them whatsoever. What do you think, Sean?
I mean, I agree. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not. If we do let go of Cody Ford after the season, it's not. Obviously, it's not the end of the world. We're still. We're going to adjust to accompany our O-line better, all that fun jazz. So yeah, I'm with Tom on this one.
Right. So apparently, there's more NFL news to still cover, but we're going to get right down to it. So a big piece of news that came out on last week on Friday was former Raiders head coach who was being allegedly accused of saying racial slurs towards people and other associates within the last 20 years is suing the NFL and Roger Goodell in Nevada's district court, who is allegedly they sought to destroy Gruden's career. And this is what he believes, and his reputation through a malicious and orchestrated campaign that led to his resignation last month, according to Tom Pelissero. So in other words, Jon Gruden is going to sue the NFL and Roger Goodell for basically targeting him over something that should have been done years ago.
Good luck, Jon Gruden.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, even if the NFL gets sued, it's not going to matter. They have tens of billions of dollars to back up for it.
Exactly.
So what is there to complain about? And another piece of news, and this one I bet you nobody's heard of, let alone let up to it, is I found out because so here's some really interesting news that came out. This came out last Saturday. So most of you know about DirecTV, right? The Sunday ticket thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many of you in this room have it?
I had it once, like literally 20 years ago.
Did you like it?
Yeah, and I got rid of
I
DirecTV
loved it. I freaking enjoyed it.
Well, you're going to like what I'm about to tell you. And that is, I just found out on Saturday, and I held on to it for this episode, is Disney is negotiating with the NFL to put Sunday Ticket on ESPN.
Nice.
What?
Yeah. Imagine that.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So you won't have to pay $150 a season and get it.
Right.
That's a good thing.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I just stream the games. I don't pay anybody a dime unless they desperately need to.
Shoot, that's freaking awesome, man.
I will say, though, that is pretty impressive. I mean, it's Disney. They can afford anybody. And I'm pretty sure, too, that Disney owns the rights to ESPN since the merger.
Yeah,
right. Because I mean, they own ABC and all those networks, so
they own everything.
Part of it.
Yeah, 20th Century Fox, the Marvel Universe, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, ESPN. Disney is a friggin' monopoly, so they could do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, they're taking over everything. They're pretty much taking over the world. Though I don't like the direction they've taken the MCU recently. So But that's another story.
Fuck the MCU. I am probably the only person in this room that does not like the MCU.
I used to like it until the recent Eternals movie came out. But whatever, it's whatever.
Well, you do know that they're planning to make more movies eventually.
I know. I'm gonna keep my eye on the latest news on them.
Well, I can be almost certain the only thing I care about is Daredevil. In fact, I got a Daredevil tattoo right here.
Nice.
I've had it for a couple of years now, almost 3 for that matter. So I'll take it for what it's worth. So leading up to the NFL news is the NFL announced some big changes into the NFL honors. Yeah, imagine that. The NFL honors. So here's what's going to be going on. It will not be the night before the Super Bowl. And this year, it will be on a Thursday night. It will show the air live. So the show will be live as they record it instead of being pre-recorded, because every other year since they've been doing this has been pre-recorded. So they pre-record it and then they just mesh it up into one event. So it's going to be all live and then everyone's going to see it and they're going to be like getting a big reaction out of it. And then it will be broadcasted on ABC on Thursday, February 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
So what do you think of the change?
I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, not really. I'm not really that serious into that, but hey, it's all good with me.
So if Josh Allen won MVP tomorrow, would you care?
I would definitely care.
There you go. What about you, Tom? What do you think?
Right. Well, first off, Josh Allen absolutely should be in the running for MVP this year because Mahomes isn't doing shit, so we already know that. And personally, I have no problem with when they want to show it. I mean, that's something where, I mean, hey, if the schedule change works, then by all means, go for it.
Absolutely. And then another piece of news which came out yesterday, and the Buffalo Bills broke the New York Jets, and you know where I'm talking about, is that they've decided to name Joe Flacco the starter for Sunday's game against the Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, the Jets.
Oh, Flacco, you should have retired already.
yeah.
Oh, God. Dude, they're so fucked.
Yeah.
God. But then again, the Jets season is over. So New York Jets just end the season.
Yeah, really. I mean,
Pretty much.
Yeah, so much for Robert Saleh's defense, which did absolutely nothing all year. And yet he's supposed to be such a defensive expert that came out of the 49ers. I mean, come on. But then again, it goes down to Jets management. They just don't choose to get anybody.
No, they don't. And that's the issue that the Jets are going to be dealing with. Dude, it's so fucking bad with the New York Jets that I actually shared the meme by Urinating Tree, everybody's favorite shit poster on the internet. He said on Sunday at 2:59 p.m. And remember, I was there to watch all this. So he says during game time, rest in peace, Mike motherfucking White's relevant career, 2021 through 2021. You weren't the first overall pick, but you were the first overall pick in our hearts for about 2 weeks.
No, it just, this just got me thinking. It boggles my mind how in the world the Jets even freaking beat the Titans earlier this season.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, really.
Well, I'm quoting you, Sean. Any given Sunday.
Yeah, but still, it's
Right.
the freaking Jets.
No.
Yeah, well, it could be worse. It could be Detroit being 0-8-1.
Oh gosh,
They
that's
couldn't even
true.
get a win. They
I
got a
forgot
tie.
about it.
Oh my
How
God.
do you
couldn't
go
even beat 'em.
0-8-1?
Are you? But couldn't even beat them.
That's so pathetic.
Oh
Right, you
gosh.
keep going 0-8-1, and I'm like, oh my god.
Imagine being this fucking pathetic that you are so banged up and you have all the talent in the world. You have Ben Roethlisberger. You have Najee Harris. You have Chase Claypool, I know is injured. You have Juju Smith-Schuster, but you have
He's out. He was out for the season.
Yeah, and TJ Watt gets hurt throughout the middle of the game. You have Casey Hayward, you have Chris Boswell, and yet you have one of the more brilliant minds in football in Mike Tomlin. I don't even think that's relevant anymore. And by that point, you still can't beat the Detroit Lions. And better yet, how did you go to overtime? That is so embarrassing. Imagine if the Bills were in that situation. Oh, Jesus Christ. The media would have a freaking field day.
Honestly, at this point, I would take the Jaguars' loss over this. Over this. For real. I'm being real.
Do you feel better?
I feel much better. Just thinking about this comparison. How do you have a hard time against a winless team? How?
Right. Let alone being the Steelers of all teams. I mean, come on.
How did they beat us in week 1?
I don't get it. Football's a weird sport. Seriously,
Jeez,
I love
Louise.
it. I love it, but holy crap. Nothing is accurate.
This is a weird season, man.
Yeah, this is a weird
season. I mean, last week, or 2 weeks ago, even when we had that loss to the Jaguars, I mean, look at how all the games went. I mean, pretty much all the underdogs are the teams that actually won it. The teams you didn't expect to win are the ones that pulled it out most of the time. And I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, holy crap, what happened last week? Were all the good teams smoking high and and beyond to the point where is what we see with Luffy when he's on the air sometimes, or he's got that vape pen going and is oh, happy 420 day. I mean, is that what the good teams did 2 weeks ago?
You want to hear something really funny that Britt and I have a trend on? So we watch the games together every Sunday, right? And Brittany's favorite thing to do, and I know this is pre-recorded and this is going to go public later, but I want to say this, and that is every Sunday when Britt and I watch the Bills, we always go in between commercials or leading up to a game. We would always check on the Atlanta Falcons, and we always check on them and say, how many games did they blow this year? Or did they blow their lead, or did they do anything crazy? And Brittany saw a meme 4 years ago, and it's hilarious. I've been trying to find it, and it's hard unless I remake it and remember all the lines. And remember the what's that product? Maybe you guys can help me out. That Anthony Sullivan guy, the guy that was supposed to replace Billy Mays, and he has that foam product, and you slap it onto the glass tub of water. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, is it that Flex Seal?
Yes, Flex Seal. That's it. So Brittany and I found a meme 4 years ago of the Flex Seal guy, and it had the Atlanta Falcons on it. I think this is when they lost the Super Bowl. And the plexiglass guy puts his hand onto the glass, and it's labeled "Big Ass Lead." And we always make fun of the Falcons, regardless of what they do. It's hysterical. In fact, I just checked the score because my Christmas tree is blocking the TV. It's 3-0 Patriots.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna jump in a moment with that too. It's just for anyone that's actually watching Thursday Night Football. Yeah, 3-0 so far.
Big ass lead. We always make fun of them, regardless what they do. It's hysterical.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I love making fun of the Atlanta Falcons. But anyway, so let's talk about one more thing, and then we're going to switch it up to hockey. And that is Marshawn Lynch got picked, or at least he was chosen, to run with the Bills for the legend of the game on Sunday against the Colts.
I love it. Beast Mode is back in Buffalo.
Yes, where it all began.
I'm kind of surprised, honestly, because I'm pretty sure at one point he said he wanted nothing to do with Buffalo after he got traded.
Hey, money's Hawks, right? It's hey, offer enough money to come back, though. He'll come back.
Yeah. Not to play, of course, but to run with the Bills.
Right.
Yeah, I remember the trade 10 years ago when that happened. I remember, oh my God, this is a terrible deal. I forgot what Buddy Nix traded for to begin with. Or was it Buddy Nix or was it someone else? That was the GM at the time.
I think it was Buddy Nix at the time who was freaking high.
Oh my God. Buddy Nix.
I mean, some of the trades he did were extremely questionable.
Like trading up for EJ Manuel, that was another one. Who
Yeah, he's not even in the league anymore.
who just so happens that Sean is brain dead with still having that jersey.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, here's a good question. How the hell did Geno Smith outlast EJ Manuel?
Oh my God.
Jeez. I have no idea.
I still don't have an answer for that one. I'm like, how did Geno Smith last this long in the league when EJ Manuel couldn't make it more than 5 years?
I remember going to Geno Smith's first home game against the Bills in 2014. It was Brittany's first game in the NFL, and it was between Geno Smith and Kyle Orton. And remember, this is when the Bills, I think EJ Manuel got hurt, and Kyle Orton was the starter, and the Jets had Geno Smith at that point. And I remember they got blown out like 43-23, the score was, and Sammy Watkins was on a breakaway. I don't know if you remember it, where he was on a breakaway. He did some kind of hand gesture, and he got picked, and he got basically grabbed by the dreadlocks, and he got taken down right at like the 2-yard line or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I remember watching EJ Manuel in his first season. It was actually a preseason game, and that was Kevin Cobb's last ever game because he got his bell rung so bad it was like a career-ending concussion.
Remember Kevin Cobb with all the hype of him being the franchise quarterback for the Eagles? Oh no, it was the Cardinals. Sorry, it was the Cardinals.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, how'd that turn out?
Yeah, Kevin Cobb was never the guy to begin with. The fact the Bills had Kevin Cobb, I think, was pretty cool, but he was still shit regardless. I think he was a lot better on Philadelphia than he was on Buffalo or Arizona.
Oh, I agree.
So that's that. But it's just, excuse me, I think football is just a weird sport in general to watch because you have no freaking idea what's going to happen next. And when things do get in their way, it just kind of just like falls flat on its face. That is ridiculous. All right, so let's move it on. We are going from the gridiron to the rink. So we're going to talk about the Sabres and the Kraken. We'll start with the Kraken because I know Sean loves to talk about them so much.
Oh, of course. I do talk. After all, I talk about them every week.
Yeah, basically.
And every time I talk about them, the losing streak just grows and grows and freaking grows like there's no tomorrow.
And yesterday against Chicago, it didn't help either.
Absolutely not.
God damn, you have the worst luck right now.
Yeah, we do. Honestly, at this point, I don't even care if this is our inaugural season. There is no excuse to be losing this much.
Well,
although actually, if you look at historical expansion teams, what the Kraken's doing right now is very much the usual that you normally see with expansion teams, with the exception of Vegas. Yeah,
I'm just gonna say, freaking Vegas, like how they do it, how they pull it off.
Well, I'll tell you how they pull it off. They hired the right general manager, they hired the right coach in Gerard Gallant, and they hired people who can contribute to their roster, basically that has some sort of talent. And that's how they pretty much built it. I mean, this is probably the best expansion team since the Florida Panthers in the early 1990s.
Yeah, remember the Panthers? I mean, they had that really good streak early on, and then they ended up turning into absolute crap for a while. But I mean, even down in Miami right now, I mean, they're playing a lot better than they have in a while, and they've quietly become a very good team.
Yes, they have. Well, Sean, if it makes you feel better, the Kraken are not, in my opinion, going to be record-breaking Washington Capitals bad. You want to know how bad they were, the 74-75 Washington Capitals?
How bad? They ever won a game?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. The 1974-75 Washington Capitals record, and I'll tell you every stat they have here. The record was, ready? 8-67-5 with 21 points, who finished dead last in the Norris division. And their coach was Jim Anderson, who was at 4-45-5 record. And their interim head coach was Red Sullivan at 2-16, and then Milt Schmidt at 2-6. And their captain was Doug Moens at the Capitol Center. So they were just freaking horrendous. So goals for an average.
Yikes.
Yeah, so 181 goals together throughout that entire season. Remember, this was not at 32 teams at that time. So they were 18th out of 18 in that league. That's dead last. Goals against average was 446, which was dead last. And their shot ratio was 3.09, which was dead last. And shots on goal were 0.2022, which was first in the league out of 18. So that, to me, is legitimately the worst fucking schedule that you can get your ass, basically on.
Jeez Louise.
Think about that. The 8 and 67 and 5, 1974-75 Washington Capitals.
Sheesh.
Well,
yeah, think about it back then. The talent wasn't even as good as what you see now in a lot of cases. So that just made it even worse.
Well, I mean, to be fair, back in the 70s, it was all about skill. It's not like today's game where everything's about speed.
Right.
That's how I look
But
at it.
even still, to lose that many games, that's pretty damn bad.
Well,
Yeah.
I only just tried to help Sean just to make him feel better in case the Kraken missed the playoffs. At least you'll have something to build off of. And there's also been a rumor, despite him being named captain, there's a rumor going around that Mark Giordano might get traded back to the Calgary Flames.
I don't know if I would do that if I were a Kraken.
Jeez Louise. I don't even know what to say about that, honestly.
You might get something for him.
Yeah, you might, but
You don't
sheesh.
seem too optimistic.
I mean, it's just so early it's still early in the season, man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because I'm still not entirely familiar with how hockey trades work and all that stuff, and maybe that's why.
Maybe, but that you'll learn that down the line when the deadline gets closer in January or February.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll find out very soon. Anyway, so we're going to move on to something else. So apparently there's been rumors about the New Jersey Devils, right? And they've been talked about for a few years that they are getting a black alternate jersey. And someone online was courteous enough to get a picture. And I found this on Instagram. This was leaked off of fanatics.com. It's a black hat and it says Jersey right on there. I don't know if you can see it too well.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, Tom, can you see this?
So no, I can't because I'm actually on just the voice only for Zoom.
Okay, so I'll send you the picture and you just look into the thing. I'll show you the picture.
Okay.
Take a look. What do you think?
All right.
So this is a leaked picture of the New Jersey Devils potential alternate logo.
That's not bad.
I don't like how it just says Jersey on it. I think that should have went with a devilish look, in my opinion. I mean, if you're gonna have a black New Jersey Devils logo, you have to at least put something related to the team on there. And that's just how I look at it. Of
Right.
course. So, and in the process with that, in the honor of World Kindness Day, which happened on Saturday, the Carolina Hurricanes made a donation to the Montreal Canadiens Children's Foundation.
That's cool of them.
I mean, a bunch of jerks, right? I mean, that's the name they were given by Don Cherry. So I'll say that for sure. And just recently, the Ottawa Senators had to postpone 3 of their games coming up this week. And there's a report coming out that they can resume playing on Monday against the Colorado Avalanche. So they had to postpone 3 of their next games due to a COVID outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what was I going to say? Oh, now I remember. So there's been a lot of interesting news because the Islanders are playing their inaugural game at UBS Arena on Saturday. And I got to say, though, there's been some interesting news about the Islanders lately. And there's 2 of them. One is that head coach Barry Trotz is saying that he's considering personnel changes. And I'm not really sure what he means. Is he talking about assistant coaches? Is he talking about within the higher up? Like, I'm not exactly sure what he's saying here. And then on top of all that, the New York Islanders are also launching limited time NFTs on November 20th. So in other words, cryptocurrency. for some of their games this year?
Well, cryptocurrency is going to be a big thing because, unrelated, the Staples Center name is changing to Crypto.com Arena on Christmas Day, if that gives any indication of what's going to happen. It's just absolutely insane. But, the Islanders, they're off to a bad start. They're just not gelling right now. And honestly, I would not be surprised to see some people go into a different direction with that team. And one thing I will say, just real quick, 10-0 Patriots are leading the Falcons right now with 7-10 in the second. So just wanted to throw that out there. But the Islanders got to make some changes. And the other thing I'll throw in there right now, the Sabres are getting smoked by the Flames with 7:47 left in the third. They're losing 5-0. Calgary already has 33 shots on goal.
How embarrassing. How fucking embarrassing. And the Kraken play tomorrow night against the Colorado Avalanche. Have fun.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yep, going against one of the best teams in the league. How at this point, the Sabres, here's what I don't get. How are the Sabres able to beat the Penguins, but they can't beat the Flames?
No idea. It still boggles my freaking mind.
I don't get how anything
works
anymore. I just don't get it. Calgary's a good team.
Well, here's the weird thing. Yeah, the weird thing is, how is it that Dustin Tokarski played lights out the other night, and actually kept the Sabres in the game for the last 13 minutes, but yet he's like in an alternate universe tonight, losing 5-0.
He can't do it all himself. I'm just saying. Everyone's got to put the puck in the net. Defense has got to step up. Goaltending needs to be better. I know I don't expect Tokarski to be Dominik Hasek, but I fully expect him to at least some sort of effort. And the defense, and Will Butcher just stands there like a goddamn idiot. And it's just like, well, if you're going to just play defensively at all, none from whatever, then you don't deserve to play. And it's very simple. But then again,
exactly.
It boggles my mind. I don't expect them to do dick, and I said that from the beginning. I don't expect them to do anything crazy, and here they are doing something crazy.
Right. Well, it kind of reminds me of Dell when we've had him in the pipes, and I don't expect him to do much, but the weird thing is Dell actually sort of did something against the Maple Leafs a couple nights ago.
Even losing to the Leafs was horrendous. How they executed within the last 15 seconds, Jesus Christ.
I know.
I can't. They cannot do anything right. And everyone says Don Gruden is such a great coach. I'm like, yeah, he's good with young players. And it's nice that they actually have something brewing, but it's not going to change the fact that, there's still a shit show regardless how you put it. It's like trying to put ketchup and mayo together on a sandwich and hoping to God that it actually pans out, when in reality, it just tastes like plastic.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the reality is it just doesn't work.
Absolutely. And then here's one other thing, and I meant to share this with Tom, and Sean, I think we'll get something out of this. So FSG, and I'm sure you guys have heard of this channel before, they are a Boston-based program, and they are interested in buying the Pittsburgh Penguins, right? So Fenway Sports, I should say, that's who FSG is. Fenway Sports Group is reportedly in talks to buy the Pittsburgh Penguins, and as early as this week for approximately, and I quote, for $7.35 billion.
Ooh, that's a nice chunk of change.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I read that. Yeah, I saw the news on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm curious though.
Yeah, I actually saw it off of one of the Pittsburgh news channels where they were mentioning that.
Yeah, but why would they want to sell the team? And even if they did sell the team, which chances are very high, they're going to get sold. Mario Lemieux will have some sort of play in it. He'll have a minority role as owner at this point. Is Mario Lemieux a majority owner, or is he a minority owner? Do you know, Tom?
Let's remember, I thought he was a minority owner.
Interesting, because I know him and Ron Burkle had ties with keeping the team in Pittsburgh. At least that's what I know for a fact. Is they've been trying to keep the team in Pittsburgh for the while being. So it's like, well, I didn't realize that they were trying to sell the team. At least that's something they did compared to the Pagulas, who refused to sell the team, period. You know?
Well, I mean, I very much doubt that the Penguins will be going anywhere because, I mean, they just built that new arena less than 10 years ago. I mean, they have a good spot. They have a good team. They have a good following down there. I mean, it's just one of those things where, I mean, it could have just been the case where they just needed some additional funds coming in. And, I mean, and things like that will happen sometimes. But I think on the whole, I would have to look in to see what exactly caused it. But, I mean, the Penguins over the last, 15 years really have not had that bad of an ownership structure. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it.
I mean, winning 3 Stanley Cups certainly helps.
Exactly. And that's really one of the biggest things that they have going, especially knowing that they have Crosby, they've got Malkin, they have a good lineup down there. It's just a matter of now let's see what this ownership can do in terms of bringing additional assets into the organization.
Yep. And you know how I've been raving about the Coyotes for a couple of months now, how they could end up playing their last season in Arizona?
Right.
Well, there's some news that came out about this, and I think Sean's going to be like, dude, why? That has no relation to it. Watch me. So here's what's going to happen. So Chris Johnston on Sportsnet comes out. He goes on Insider Trading, and he says, and I quote, that the Arizona Coyotes are confident they'll be in Arizona next season and beyond. They won't be playing in Glendale next season, so they need to get creative. One option that's been rumored to be in play is Chase Field as a temporary solution, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
All I can say is good luck with that, because that baseball stadium, the Arizona Diamondbacks don't even want Chase Field anymore, so they want a new ballpark already.
Didn't they just get one?
Yeah, Chase Field's less than 20 years old, and it's a retractable roof.
What?
How's that even? Wait a minute. Yeah. I'm curious how that's going to work.
I don't understand this logic. If you're that desperate to keep the Coyotes in the state of Arizona, which is clearly not working, and you are so desperate that you put them in Chase Field, which is big enough to host the Winter Classic.
Yeah, I totally don't get why they would want to do that move. But, I mean, one of the things I look at it this way, I mean, hockey in Arizona, I'm sorry, guys, but it's not working. And, of course, Gary Bettman wants it to work beyond anything. But the bottom line is, Gary Bettman, it doesn't work. Move the team. Put them in Houston, or better yet, put them in Quebec City with their new arena over there that can actually hold NHL games. It's NHL ready, and they sell out 18,000 seats for junior hockey. That's a hockey market.
Or
that's an idea.
Or move them to Houston, because the guy who owns the Houston Rockets is interested in buying the team if they have literally no choice but to move outside of Arizona. So for the league to have the audacity, not just the league, but the team themselves and the ownership, which has been basically executive hot potato in the last 7 years, if not longer, because nobody wants this garbage ass fucking team. Has anybody seen the Coyotes record lately?
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, let me look it up right now.
Yeah, I'm going to let Sean do the honors. Tell us the record openly. Tell us their record.
All right, let me see. Arizona Coyotes.
While he's doing that, it's a
Oh, boy.
Tell us.
How the freak did we lose to these guys?
Yeah, I want to
They're freaking 2-13.
There should be another number in there, too.
And 1. 2-13-1.
Fucking Christ.
How did we lose to them?
I don't know. How did the Bills lose to the Jaguars?
I don't know.
Exactly. I mean,
How did the Titans lose to the Jets? I don't know. How did the Steelers not beat a winless Lions team and just ended in overtime? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Fuck are you an expansion team? And yet you lose to the Coyotes. It's like losing to the Browns.
Jeez Louise.
It's Seattle, man. How did you lose to Arizona? Oh my God.
I don't get it.
And yet, go ahead.
I'm saying I don't get it.
And yet they want to put the team on a baseball diamond.
That's just a freaking waste.
Wait. So they play hot potato throughout this entire season, let alone last couple of years, and it's like whoop. And it's like, we can't move them to Tempe. We can't move them to Glendale. They got kicked out of Phoenix. Now we have to possibly put them in a fucking baseball stadium where no one even goes to Diamondbacks games in general because of how pathetic they've been in the last couple of years. And then on top of all that, you want to put the Coyotes there. How is that going to work? That's like putting the Suns there.
Yeah.
Only difference is
Right, and think of it this way. And think of it another way, too. The Coyotes are so cheap that they actually bought the old scoreboard that was a few years old from the old Palace of Auburn Hills that's not even standing in Detroit anymore.
Wait. Back that up. What did you just say?
Yeah, so the Gila River Arena, where the Coyotes play, they put in a new scoreboard a few years ago. However, it's not a new scoreboard. It's the scoreboard that was a couple years old that the Detroit Pistons bought when they were still playing at the Palace of Auburn Hills. So the Coyotes didn't even want to go buy their own thing. They figured, let's buy it for cheap. So they actually bought the old board in Detroit's basketball arena that's not standing anymore.
Jesus Christ.
Ugh.
I didn't even know that was a thing. My God.
Yeah, they shipped it from Detroit to Arizona, and then they put it in, and it's like, it's like brand new. It's like, yeah, it's a secondhand board that's like 3 years old already.
What the actual hell is with this organization? You've been shit for 10 years since your fluke, conference final appearance. Well, no, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase myself. They've been a joke since they relocated from Winnipeg. And that was 25 years ago.
Winnipeg should have never lost the team in the first place.
Yeah, and that was 25 years ago. Fucking
right.
Christ. Oh my God. I seriously do not get this. The Sabres can beat the Coyotes, but not the Kraken. Yet, the Coyotes are so desperately bad that they're financially losing money. It's like, how do they have this much of acknowledgement on their organization? It's great they brought back the Kachina jerseys, but what's not nice is the fact of how pathetic that team is. And they've had executive hot potato. They've had GM hot potato, head coach hot potato. And Sean, you want to hear something really interesting about the Coyotes?
What?
Guess who their head coach was in 05-06? And he was so bad.
Who was it?
I'll give you a hint. He's one of the greatest players of all time.
Oh no!
Yes.
Here's
don't
another
tell
hint.
me.
Number 99.
Oh gosh, Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky was the head
Yep.
coach.
Oh my gosh.
And that team was ass under him.
Oh wow.
Great player, but a shit coach.
Jeez Louise, man.
And it's a final. The Sabres are now 7-6-2 on the season because they got shut out by the Flames 5-0.
Well,
Wow.
I knew that was a waste of time. God.
Yeah.
I mean, how many more careers are they going to ruin? Seriously, how many more careers are they going to ruin? The Sabres are hot garbage. That's not surprising. But the Coyotes ruined how many careers? They already ruined Nikolai Hovland. They ruined Jeremy Roenick. They ruined Keith Tkachuk. They ruined Oliver Ekman-Larsson. They ruined freaking Anthony DeClaire. I mean, how many more? And Phil Kessel doesn't even want to be there.
Right.
That's embarrassing. So for Sean and the Kraken, The next time you play Arizona, please play up to your potential, because I think that would really help everyone. And please do not get bitch slapped by the Coyotes next time.
I wish I could say we won't, but I can't make any guarantees.
No, I don't expect
This
you to.
freaking losing streak going on, and
It's gonna end eventually. I mean, you're not.
I know it's going to end. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. Oh, and not to mention this team had friggin' Taylor Hall. That's fantastic.
Great.
Fucking Arizona. Yeah, just move a shitty franchise to a fucking baseball diamond. Yeah, that worked so friggin' well.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hey, man. Does anybody, before we wrap up for tonight, does anybody have any last minute comments?
Oh, I'm good.
Not really. Not really. Just, Bills know what they got to do this week. So the thing I expect from them is they've got to keep that run game going. I mean, mix it up on the offense a bit, because the fact that they were more balanced than they usually are is a good thing. So, as long as they can do that, that's great. And then really besides that, the Sabres, they just need to kind of get back to the basics. I mean, they're playing kind of like what I would think that they would be doing this season now, with being back down to almost 500. But I mean, they're going to be streaky. And now it's just going to be interesting to see when Anderson comes back, and also to see if possibly UPL gets a look later in the season.
I can imagine that would be the case, but we'll see. I mean, I'm pretty confident in the Bills. I think they can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Bills could definitely make it happen. And then, it's just going to be a wait and see for the Sabres.
Yeah.
I have little to no faith in the Sabres. Fucking Christ, man. And what about you, Sean? Anything?
No, I'm good.
All right. So with that being said, thank you for joining us on this episode of Buffalo After Dark. I got Sean O'Malley, and of course I got my co-host Tom Wujek, who is in the middle of nowhere. And we'll catch you all next time, and have a good day.
Later.
All right, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other.
And remember, be good people.
Buffalo After Dark is an HNH Studio production and distributed by Horns and Hooves Entertainment.